Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubang.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, the Court of Appeal dethrones paramount ruler and Obong of Calabar and orders fresh elections for the position, says a sacked Obong can recontest. House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Constitution submits its report, recommends removal of immunity for the President, Vice President, Governors and Deputies. Federal government to grant amnesty to Boko Haram members committed to genuine peace in the north. And supporters of ousted Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi threaten to embark on solidarity rally even as their principal remains under house arrest.
On business news tonight, President Goodluck Jonathan to sign off on a $3 billion Chinese loan next week.
And in sports news, Super Eagles' uninspiring performance at the FIFA Confederations Cup takes its toll on the team's profile in world football.
The appeal court sitting in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, has ruled for the removal of the Obong of Calabar, Ekpo Okon Abasiotu V, as a paramount ruler of the Efik Kingdom. The lead judgments delivered by Justice Muhammad Garba upheld an earlier ruling by the Calabar High Court that due process had not been followed in the Obong selection. Justice Garba then ordered the Etubom's conclave of the Obong's palace to conduct another process of selecting a new Obong in which all qualified candidates, including the sacked monarch, can participate.
It's an obviously tense mood at the premises of the Court of Appeal in Calabar, the Cross River State capital. A throne is at stake. Citizens and chiefs of the Efik Kingdom turn up to witness the judgment that would determine the fate of their paramount ruler.
The Court of Appeal set aside the whole process of the selection of the Obong of Calabar and ordered that a new process be undertaken. So that's the summary of the judgment.
The appellate court's judgment effectively removes His Majesty Etubom Ekpo Okon Abasiotu V as the Obong of Calabar. The ruling upholds an earlier judgment by the Calabar High Court. However, the ousted monarch's lawyer insists that he has not been vanquished yet.
The judgment of today has upheld the position of the Etubom's constitution of the Obong of Calabar, Palace of the Obong of Calabar, in the sense that you must be an agnate descent, and you must have undergone the process of capping and induction by a sitting Obong of Calabar. Therefore, Chief Ani, who admitted that he has not been capped nor inducted into the Obong's palace, he is not qualified. That is what the judgment is saying.
The claimant to the throne who filed the suit, Etubom Antoniani, had been denied the opportunity to contest by the Etubom conclave of the Obong's palace.
Is that there is no Obong of Calabar now because the judgment today has nullified the selection. So insofar as if people are concerned, there's no Obong of Calabar.
As the people depart, the battle is just about to begin. Despite the court's judgment, the deposed king is still eligible to contest the throne again.
Staying with the courts, but back here in Lagos, the High Court sitting in Ikeja has granted bail to a divisional police officer, Segun Fabumi, who was dismissed over the shooting of Adedamola Daramola during last year's fuel subsidy protests in Lagos. The trial judge admitted bail to Mr. Fabumi in the sum of 250 million naira, with two sureties who each must have landed property in Lagos worth 100 million naira. The same court had recently awarded ₦1 million a compensation to each of the other four protesters who were also shot during the protest.
Although the law says that bail should not be granted in capital offences, bail is still at the discretion of the judge. So in the case between the state and Segun Fabumi, the judge granted bail based on his health and also his performance when he was in the police force. Justice Olabisi Akinlade, delivering her judgment, stated that the accused person will be granted bail on the grounds that he has renal failure and would need special medical attention, which the prison service cannot afford. She acknowledged that the medical reports issued by the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital on his state of health was sufficient proof. The bill was set at 250 million naira and 2 sureties in like sum, both of whom must be resident in Lagos. The sureties must have 3 years tax clearance, and one of them must own landed property worth 100 million naira with certificate of occupancy. The court further ordered Mr. Fabumi to deposit his traveling passport with the chief registrar of the court, who will appoint a police officer to verify documents to be tendered. After waiting for about 4 hours to evade the media, the accused person and family members did all they could to shield him from our camera. Segun Fabumi was accused of killing a protester at Dedam Loladaramola during protest against fuel subsidy removal in January 2012. He was also accused of attempted murder and causing of grievous bodily harm on 3 others. Trial has been set for the 16th of July 2013. Victoria Idu, reporting for Channels Television News.
And from the court to the legislature, where an ad hoc committee of the House of Representatives today presented its report on the review of the 1999 Constitution. The ad hoc committee announced the removal of immunity now being enjoyed by the President and the Vice, the governors, as well as their deputies. The committee also threw out over 35 requests for new states, even as it grants local governments autonomy to manage their own accounts. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
On the review of the 1999 Constitution, laying the report of the committee before the House. He gave lawmakers a brief on the major recommendations in the report.
In line with the results from the People's Police Stations, the committee also removed the immunity from prosecution from criminal offences for persons occupying the position of President, Vice President, Governor and Deputy Governor, and to stem impunity in governance.
The House took what many may consider a popular decision on the autonomy for local governments. It also approved independent candidacy in future elections.
The committee also altered the Constitution to abrogate state joint local government accounts and empower each local government to maintain its own special account to be called Local Government Council Allocation Account, into which shall be paid directly allocations made to local government by the federal government from the federal accounts and from the government of the states. The committee agreed to allow for independent candidacy in elections in Nigeria. This would, however, be subject to conditions stipulated under the Electoral Act.
The committee also recommended that a person who has lived in a community for a specific period of time should have the same right as its citizens. Unlike the report of its sister committee in the Senate, the House was silent on the tenure of the President.
Those in support of those against, are they here? Those against, please say nay. Let's have it. We will come up with a timetable for the consideration of this report, and I believe that we should be able to have it done with before we go on our recess. Thank you very much.
If the House can keep to this timeline, the next step will be to harmonize with the Senate and give Nigerians the constitution they can identify with. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
There's still no word from members of the Boko Haram sect on whether or not they have changed their stance about accepting the federal government's amnesty proposal. But as everyone awaits that decision, the government has publicly announced conditions for granting them amnesty. According to the federal government, only members of the militant group who genuinely ensure that peace returns to the north will be granted amnesty. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on Dialogue and Peaceful Resolution of the Security Challenges in the North, who is also the Minister for Special Duties, Mr. Kabiru Turaki, explained that those who do not fall into this category would be prosecuted. Meanwhile, the Senate